Today's a weird video. We're gonna be talking about something that I never thought would be put together ever here on Hypixel Skyblock. First off, welcome back to another daily Hypixel Skyblock videos. If you're new around here, you better subscribe and leave a like on the video. You can change your mind at absolutely any time, and it's completely free. I'm just genuinely baffled about the topic that we're gonna be talking about today. Today we're gonna be talking about how Rancher boots have now become the meta for dungeons. In case you thought you misheard me, you didn't. We're gonna be talking about how Rancher boots, the farming boots, somehow became the meta for floor 7 catacombs. And all of today's information, this isn't just me waffling about something I think should be a meta. I'm hearing this from deathstrikes himself. He's actually the one who inspired today's video. So you better go ahead and drop him a subscription. I'm gonna link his channel down below. Right now he's been posting some really cool milestones and just dungeon runs over on his YouTube channel. So go ahead and show him some love and just let him know that your boy Zach sent him. And yeah, I'm sure that would make his day. But Rancher boots, these things, I don't know how they even came close to dungeons. I don't know what deathstrikes was thinking when he heard about this or tried it. But today we're going to be breaking down some footage of his, as well about talking about how Rancher boots are actually really good in floor 7. Some of you might be wondering why Rancher boots might be anywhere close to relevant when it comes to catacombs, and so was I. So deathstrikes told me that having high speed clears is very essential when it comes to high-end players. So basically, the more speed you have, the faster you are. For those of you who don't know, Rancher boots have a really cool feature where you can basically adjust the speed, and based on your farming level, you actually have much faster speed when you wear them. So for example, deathstrikes is farming 60, so he has the fastest speed you can possibly get in Rancher boots at the time of recording this. Most people use Black Cats as it gives a lot of speed, especially when you have Chimera 5 on your Hyperion, but deathstrikes gets a consistent 400 speed with a sheep pet out. And for those of you who don't know, 400 speed is the max speed here on Hypixel Skyblock. A lot of high-end catacombs players don't exactly have the luxury of having their sheep equipped when they're clearing out the actual dungeon rooms. When you're clearing out the dungeon rooms, the faster you are, the better. That means you can get onto the boss fight and basically go through a lot more runs in a day than you would if you weren't going as fast as they want to be. And so, for example, a lot of people use a Black Cat, and especially with Chimera, that is a lot of speed. But with the Rancher boots, you can actually go a lot faster, and having the luxury of having your sheep head out allows you to do a lot more ability damage with a Hyperion. So for example, for me and for a lot of other players, it takes about 6 or 7 right clicks with a Hyperion to kill a mini boss, for example. With deathstrikes method, so that you can actually have your sheep head out and you're still moving ridiculously quick, he can 2-tap mini bosses, and we're going to be taking a look at some of that footage today. And the great thing about this setup is that using Rancher boots bridges the gap between low speed, high ability damage, and high speed versus low ability damage, which is kind of ridiculous. So we're going to take a look at some of his footage as well as his setup and see exactly what he has going on here. So as you can see on my screen, we are looking at deathstrikes' profile on Skycrypt. As you can see, as I mentioned before, he does have farming 60, which is very relevant when it comes to the actual Rancher boots. When it comes to like boss fights, he does switch between his storm boots and his actual Rancher boots. He uses his Rancher boots from the clears, from what I understand. He also has a level 100 legendary sheep, which has a Minos relic, increases all pet stats by 33.3%. The reason why this is relevant is because it actually affects the ability damage that the sheep gives as well. For those of you who don't know, ability damage directly affects all magic damage, which happens to be a Hyperion in our case. So for example, let's take a look at his Hyperion. Chimera 5, this thing's maxed like no tomorrow, as you can see. His ability damage with this thing, we'll be taking a look at that in the actual footage, which is kind of insane. Some other things that he uses for speed, though, he has 6 like maxed out farming hose, or close to maxed out, basically giving him a ridiculous speed boost. So for those of you who don't know, actually the hose, for example, on the top right there, speed plus 20, speed plus 20, plus 20, plus 16, plus 9, and plus 20. This allows him to reach max speed cap basically by using some of these different items. And as you can see right here, these are the Rancher boots in question. So as you can see, he's maxed these out a decent amount. Obviously not Grow 7, Prot 7. It's just unnecessary. He has Necrotic on them, Recombobulated, Fuming Hot Potato booked, Sugar Rush 3 for that extra 6 speed. And basically, so how these boots work is these boots gain plus 2 defense and plus 4 speed for every farming skill level you have. So in this case, from his boots, he was telling me that he gets an extra 290 speed by wearing his Rancher boots, which when with the hose and basically everything else added up, he also has speed enrichments on his talismans. As you can see right here, enriched with speed, all the legendaries and mythics, giving him a little bit more speed when it comes to actually clearing. He reaches the speed cap of 400 while still being able to have his sheep pet equipped, which helps him deal a ridiculous amount of damage. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of different instances in this footage that he sent over to me. He did a few dungeon runs and he sent me the clip just so we can kind of break it down a little bit. So in the second, he's about to go run around this corner. As you can see in the bottom left here, it's a little bit dark because my mouse is in the way, but he is at 400% speed with his sheep pet equipped. And you can tell his sheep pet's equipped by the bottom right. As you can see, his sheep is equipped. And currently he's rocking rancher boots running through a floor 7 dungeon, which is just weird to me because rancher boots and dungeons have never really mixed, in my opinion. I've always just seen them as these are for farming and that's about it. So let's watch him go around the corner here. And for those of you who don't know, with a Hyperion and Storm Armor, it takes about 6 or 7 right clicks to actually kill a mini boss. And so let's just see how he takes care of that mini boss in just a second against the Frozen Adventurer. Here he goes. As you can see, he's just clearing, working his way around, and he's about to come across the mini boss here in a second. It's right here. Boom. Done. Gone. He's destroyed. He actually deleted. I can't believe how quickly he just shreds through this thing. It's kind of insane. Oh my goodness. Another thing Deathstrikes thought would be very important to add is, as you can see, when he's going into stage 4 of the boss fight, as you can see, here's this Hyperion. By the way, this thing is just, I want it. Deathstrikes, if you're watching this, I plan on stealing it somehow. Just go along with it and accept that. But as you can see at the bottom, where it says scroll abilities, item ability, wither, impact, which is the 3 scrolls that you get from floor 7, slapped onto your Hyperion. His ability damage when he implodes is 10.3 million damage every time he right clicks, which is ridiculous. I'm going to go back in game in a second and show you guys my ability damage outside of dungeons, but it is nowhere close to 10 million. Just as a reference, I am in my Storm Armor with my Wither Goggles. As you can see, nice looking set. I also have my Hyperion, and my ability damage, obviously I'm not in dungeons, but it's 22,000, which is not too much. Like if I right click, there we did 1 million damage, whereas he would be doing 10 million, or close to it, just a little bit of a comparison. Kind of insane. I do understand that he has a Minos Relic as well as Chimera 5, but honestly his setup is just, mine is nowhere close to his, even though we're using some of the same item. Another stat that is very important that he's about to showcase in a second is actually our ability damage. So as you can see, ability damage is located, it's the bottom red one above mining, farming, and forging fortune. As you can see, I have 50% ability damage, which honestly isn't terrible, but when we look at Deathstrikes in a second, it's not amazing. So as you can see right here, Deathstrikes is showcasing his stats at the moment, and if you see the ability damage right about here, 208% ability damage, which is it's good. You know, that's it's pretty good. Just to show you one more time, he does this a bunch of times over this entire clip, any mini boss he comes across, but we're gonna watch him absolutely destroy another one right there. There was also someone else doing a little bit of damage, but he did most of it, and it's the same situation here. Walks into this room, Lost Adventure, he wasn't even there. I couldn't even see the Lost Adventure. The frames went by too quick. I wasn't even able to like take a look at him, which is just ridiculous how much damage it allows you to do when you can actually use the proper setup and maintain your speed at the same time. So this is definitely a high-end dungeon setup, but it's got to be one of the best out there. By having the 6 farming hoes in Deathstrikes' inventory, as well as speed enrichments on his talismans, as well as the rancher boots, which grant an extra 290 speed, and also at the beginning of a lot of floor 7 runs, people will splash a rabbit potion, which grants an extra 50 speed. This equals 400% speed, which equals a bunch of extra mobility for clearing, and you can keep your damage up at the same time. I never thought Rancher Boots would actually be something that would be in the dungeons conversation, but honestly, now that it's kind of, I understand it a bit more and Deathstrikes has explained it to me, it makes sense. So if you are a high-end dungeons player, I definitely recommend looking into the Rancher Boots. You will not regret it. This setup is kind of ridiculous. I also got a chance to watch Deathstrikes absolutely annihilate a King Midas. Unfortunately, he wasn't recording that, but for me, for example, it takes me about 10 to 12 right clicks to actually go ahead and kill a King Midas. He did this thing in 3 right clicks. Seriously, he looked down, went 1, 2, 3, it was dead, and he picked up the loot and went on his merry way. It was seriously something to watch. Once again, I want to give a massive shout out to Deathstrikes for allowing me to make a video on this. I know a lot of dungeons players don't enjoy their secrets kind of being spread through YouTube or just throughout the community, mainly because that means that people who are trying to catch up to them in Catacombs XP can do so with the same method. Although Deathstrikes was super chill about this and actually brought this to my attention, I didn't even have to pry it away from him this time. He actually brought it to me, which I think is amazing. So thank you so much to Deathstrikes. Go ahead and drop him some love. I'm going to link his channel down below, as I already said. If you aren't subscribed to me yet, you should also do that. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy, and I think that's going to be it for today. I hope to see you guys all tomorrow, and without further ado, I'll see you guys there. Peace out.